Hi everyone, today we're going to be checking out another candle that one of you have sent to me. Today's candle is coming from Matt Bauman. He has been a subscriber and follower of the channel for quite some time, as well as on the Facebook group, and very engaged in pretty much all the platforms that I'm on. So thank you, Matt, for sending this candle in. I'm excited to open it up, unbox it, check it out, and then of course do some burn testing with it as well. Now, one thing I do want to mention that I'll be mentioning in every one of these videos real briefly is that these were sent to me voluntarily for the purpose of checking them out on the channel. So I don't want anyone who hasn't seen one of these videos before to think that I am just taking a candle that someone sent me and without asking their permission, reviewing it on the channel. So yes, this was completely voluntary and optional. And if anyone else is interested in doing the same thing, just let me know in the comment section below and we'll figure it out. So the way that this works is the purpose of this is not to pass any kind of judgment or criticism on any other candle maker's candles and products. That's not how I am, and that's not what this is about. This is really just to have a little bit of fun. And for all of you who are interested in me just checking out one of your products, especially if you've been around on this channel for quite some time. Some of you just want to share your growth and share your products and let me know things that have improved over the time, and others are looking for some constructive feedback. We all make different kinds of candles for different kinds of purposes. Some make candles for smaller rooms, some larger rooms, some different shapes and sizes. And so again, the purpose isn't to tell you what's right or wrong. And I'm also not the end-all be-all when it comes to candle making. This is really just to check out what you all sent me. And if I do find little tips and things that I think might be helpful, I'll mention them. But again, it's just an opinion. It's just a thought, something to give you something to think about. We all have things that we like to play with and tweak with our candles, including myself. I'm always messing with labels and tweaking wicks and doing things all the time. And I know many of you are the same way. So that's all this is about, is just another set of eyes on your product, let you know really what I like about them more than anything. Again, if I notice little things here and there that might be helpful, I'll mention them. And I might also make some guesses on certain things that I don't know about the product. And I'd be really interested in you leaving some feedback in the comments below if I end up being way right or way wrong on some of those guesses. Thank you as always for being here. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Wade Thomas. I'm the owner of Black Tie Barn. And on this channel, we talk about candle making. We talk about running a candle business and small business in general, and little tips and tricks to help you with your journey as well. So if any of that content interests you and you would like to see more of it in the future, let YouTube know that by hitting the thumbs up button below to give this video a like, as well as subscribing and turning on notifications. So I'm excited to check out Matt's candle. Let's go ahead and dive in. Oh, and one last note, as I will do with all of these, is show a little bit of an unboxing, check out the candle, the label, packaging, presentation, really whatever I'm given. And then I'll step away, which will seem like a minute, even though it's more like a week, and then actually use the candle, do several burns, and then come back and let you know what I thought overall. So let's go ahead and open the box. All right, so looks like he's already worked on the packaging for this new product. And as you can see, it came in looks like a 6x6 box. Maybe an 8x8, but I'm pretty sure it's 6x6 with some packing peanuts. And within that is inside another product box. So that will help with protection for sure. And this has probably got a little bit of padding itself. So this is Emerald Coast Candle. This is Matt's candle company. And it's got the product sticker on top. Open it up, got a little bit of bubble wrap and some crinkle cut. Let's go ahead and check this out. Ooh, nice. So the first thing that is obviously noticeable, it is in a frosted container, and I can't tell if there's somewhat of a green tint to this. And being Emerald Coast, if there truly is some kind of a green tint, that's kind of neat. And actually really cool. But it is a frosted container, which has some benefits to it, sort of like a colored container. You see less surface issues if you have any. And then of course, before we talk more about the candle specifically, let's talk a little bit more about the jar. So other than being a frosted glass jar, which again does look very nice, he does have the natural colored wood lid, and it's also a wood wick candle. I know I said we'd talk about that more in a second, but I really like the relationship of the wooden wick and the wooden lid. So building a little bit of a brand awareness there and some consistency with this brand. Candle name is called Boardwalk. And it looks like it was made with a cocoa butter cashmere fragrance oil. Of course, it also says that it is a woodwick candle. It is listed as a soy candle, so that could be a pure soy candle. It could be a parasoy. It does say a net weight of 10 ounces. We'll talk about that here in a sec. And then he's got his website of emeraldcandle.com. And then there is also a warning label on the bottom. Let's talk a little bit more about a couple things that stand out to me really quickly. The first one is one thing on the label. Well, actually first I should say that I like the clean, simple label. It complements the frosted jar with the natural wood. If you had a label here with too many colors or too much going on, I think it would be sort of unusual to look at with this, maybe a little even off-putting, because this is really supposed to look like a sophisticated, clean, and almost natural looking container or candle. And I think that this label complements that pretty well. It is simple to look at. It is not distracting. It tells you everything you need. And overall, I think it's a good job on the label. However, the only thing that I would maybe mention to Matt on this one, and I could be wrong until I actually were to check it out, it says that the net weight is 10 ounces. This jar is probably a 10-ounce jar. It's kind of like a straight-sided tumbler jar, but that would be by volume. And so I doubt that it holds 10 ounces of wax by weight. I doubt that it's an actual 10-ounce candle. And when we're doing labeling on candles, one of the label requirements for candles is that it is net weight, not total weight. So my guess is, I could be wrong on this, but I wouldn't think the amount of wax in this equals 10 ounces. I would guess it's probably closer to 8, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So I'm just mentioning that just in case it wasn't thought of. But if this truly is 10 ounces of candle wax inside, then you don't need to do anything. No changes whatsoever. If, though, that this is more of a volume measurement, for example, if it's a 10-ounce jar, you wouldn't want to put 10 ounces on the label. You'd want to only put the weight of the wax inside. And for anyone that might be new to, the simple way to do that is just take an empty jar and set it on your scale. You tare it to 0, and then you put your candle on top and see what that weighs, and then you subtract the difference. That would be the net weight that goes on the candle. I have some jars that are similar sizes, and they don't hold 10 ounces. So that would be my only recommendation on the outside of the candle. I think it looks great. It is unique. There are frosted candles. There are candles with wood lids. There's woodwick candles. I haven't seen a candle that actually looks like this, at least especially from those of you. I like the tint of the jar. Clean label, good branding. Now, a little bit more inside the jar. One thing to note is you're not going to be able to ever fill the candles up more than this because these type of lids protrude so deep into the candle jar, and you've got to leave room for the wick. So that's one of the first things you notice, but then you see why the wax stops where it does, and it's so that the lid will fit. So that's just something very common with wood lids, but I just wanted to go ahead and point it out. All right, so first let's talk about the wax. It looks to be a nice, smooth, milky texture. It does look to be a nice, soft parasoy type wax. It's obviously a natural color, so no dye was used. And then, of course, the woodwick. Looking at the size of it, if I had to guess, I would say it is a 0.03 and 5/8 thickness. So that would be, which would be a point, with their new sizing on their website, that's a 0.03 for the thickness, and then it would be 0.625 width, I believe is right. That would be my guess on the size of the woodwick. Which is good because if this is a low melt point parasoy, then you really don't want to go bigger than that. We'll even have a better idea once we start test burning it, but I like everything I'm seeing so far. That is the overall look of the candle, both inside and out. As far as the scent goes, the cold throw, again, it is cocoa butter cashmere. Wow. If any of you, which I'm assuming a lot of you, have used any kind of cocoa butter hand cream moisture lotion, it smells very similar to that with a touch of cashmere. That's exactly what it smells like. So there is no mistaking what that is. It's a very good, clean scent. I think a perfect job with the name and perfect scent choice to go along with it. It's got great cold throw. It's got a nice, good, clean smell. I actually created a massage candle once when I first started making candles. That was using a cashmere type fragrance, and it's bringing back some memories of that. So I really enjoy that fragrance. It's good and clean. I think a lot of people would really like that as well. Cashmere can be hit or miss. Some people love cashmere and some people don't like it. But if you are a fan of it at all, you'll definitely like this. And if you're not sure and kind of indifferent on cashmere, you probably will like this one because it's mixed with the cocoa butter. So I'm going to step away, well, for the next several days and do some burning of this candle. And I'll take some pictures and some videos of lighting it and burning the candle so you can see what I'm seeing as well. And I'm going to be watching how the wick burns and kind of noticing the different hot throws. And when I'm done, I'm going to come back to this video, talk about how it burned, talk about the hot throw, things like that, and then leave you with some overall thoughts. But so far, very well done, Matt. Thanks for sending this in. And again, that's Matt with Emerald Coast Candles. So give me just a sec and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back here with Matt's candle, again, from Emerald Coast Candle. And all I got to say is, wow. I mean, damn, it's a good candle. It's a really good candle. So we're going to break this down. I'm going to talk about it a little bit in detail, but I just wanted to start off and just let you know that there's really nothing I can really point out about this candle that I didn't like. It's really, really well done. The first thing I want to do is, and I touched on this before, but I want to touch on it one more time, is the color of the glass. It's a frosted glass, but it has this green tint to it, which makes perfect sense for Matt's brand, which is Emerald Coast Candle. So I don't know if that, I'm assuming that was probably intentional. And if so, I mean, really, really well done. Branding, the look, the feel, the nostalgia of the candle, it's really well done. Let's talk about the candle itself now after burning it. Now, I burned this over, a week and a half, off and on, sometimes 3 hours at a time, sometimes 7 hours at a time, just to get a good feel for how this would burn in different conditions. And all I got to say is it just never disappointed at any point in time. It burned perfectly, beautifully the entire time. This is how much is left in there. So just maybe 3/4 of an inch from the bottom inside the jar. So I burned it almost the whole way down. I don't know if you can really tell in the jar how much of the wood wick, what it looks like after it's burned, but it never changed. It never looked worse than that. There was a couple times I did break off the burnt end like you're supposed to with a wood wick and relight it. Burned perfectly when I did that. There were other times where I just relit it without breaking off the black burnt end of it, and it burned well still. It just really, really burned great the entire time. So well done, Matt. In the first part of the video, I did talk about the wax a little bit, that it is a soft wax, something like a Joy Wax or a Pearl Blend 600, some kind of soft parasoy. And the wick, I said, was probably like a 0.0358 from wooden wick, maybe a 0.02 width. It's very thin. It's a very thin wick. Like I said, he nailed it with the wicking. I mean, it burned beautifully, very clean burn. There's no residue. I mean, there's just very, very well done. So hopefully some of these pictures and videos that I've got going on the video here are showing you a little bit of the different angles and different burn times and what it looked like when it was burning. There is a slight discoloration of the wax at the top layer. It's going to be really, really hard to see, but the very, very top layer kind of changes to almost like a light yellowish, brownish tan color. Very, very common with a lot of waxes when they burn with almost any wick, but you'll really see it happen commonly with wooden wicks, and a few cotton wicks do it as well. So that is not uncommon at all. It's very normal, and it's not anything I would even be concerned about. Only us candle makers would really notice it. I think anyone else would think, yeah, that's normal. It's got something burning in it. So that's nothing I would be worried about. One problem you'll see sometimes with wood wicks, and it is unpredictable, so it's not something you can always control, but sometimes when you light a wooden wick, it'll be perfect and burn perfectly, and then the next time you light it, it will either be difficult to relight, kind of a weak looking flame, or it might burn like a forest fire. It can be really hard to predict with a wooden wick, and they can be inconsistent. So, and that could be the case in this candle. For example, like, I've been talking about how this is burned perfectly. Well, someone else might dye one of these candles or another scent, and it might not get the same results I did. That is kind of the nature of the beast with wooden wicks, is they can be inconsistent. However, normally you'll see that inconsistency even within one candle. You'll burn it one time, it's great. You burn it the next time, it's not so great. Back and forth. I would be encouraged by this one if I were Matt, because it burned great the entire time. Like, it never, ever didn't burn well. Now the fragrance throw was really, really good, but I also really liked the fragrance itself. It's cocoa butter cashmere, and it kind of reminded me of like after lotion that you put on, after you've been out in the sun, but a little bit better than that. It's some of that cocoa butter smell, but you can definitely pick up the cashmere as well. So very, very good scent, very good hot throw, very good burning wick. Matt sent this to me, and he asked in the letter that he sent is that he's considering whether or not to add this to his candle line, and he wanted my feedback. Yes, add it to your candle line. If it's not already, add it to your candle line. Very well done. Work on the label a little bit, I would say. Try to make sure everything is centered and you got enough cushion around all the lettering, and then, fix the net weight. Other than that, man, I don't have anything negative to say whatsoever about the candle. Very, very well done. Matt's been following the channel for a bit. He's also in my Facebook group. And so I'm happy to see that he reached out and wanted to go ahead and have a candle review on the channel. Like I said, he's been following along. He's been very supportive of the channel and everything as well. So maybe he'll comment on this video if any of you are interested. But, I'll just say one more time, great job. Very well done. Congratulations. I know this is not your first candle. This is just something that you're wanting to add in addition to your line, but congratulations, because it's really, really well done. You should be proud of this work for sure, and you're definitely on a good track, and I would 100% recommend adding this to your candle line. I should reiterate one more time, when I test these candles, I'm just testing one candle, and I'm only testing the one scent. I'm just testing whatever is sent to me. So I can't always speak about any of the other products or any of the other scents, but from what I've tested, this has worked great. And I only wanted to mention that because there have been other reviews I've done in the past where I've burned a candle and everything was great. Someone else burned the same candle and had different results. But remember, different fragrances are going to act differently in different candles. All candles are not going to burn the same. We're all going to have different experiences. It depends on how long you burn them each time. And so just remember, this is just opinion on my feedback of how I burn the candle, and that goes for all the candle reviews I do. You might get different results if you end up buying another fellow candle maker's candles, or any candle off the shelf for that matter. But from my perspective, my experience burning this candle, it was damn near perfect. So very good job, Matt. And good luck to your business, Emerald Coast Candle. One more time, round of applause. Great job, Matt. Looking forward to more of your work in the future. As for everyone else, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at Matt's candle here from Emerald Coast Candle Company. And if you are interested in yourself in sending in a candle to be reviewed on the channel and get some feedback, just let me know. Mention it down in the comments. As long as I have the time, I'm taking more, and then it takes me a few weeks to get the reviews done. Just depends on how backed up I am. But if you are interested, just let me know in the comments and we will work it out. Thanks for tuning in again, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.